Welcome to the latest episode of Talking Season. I'm your host, Ryan McNeil. I'm thrilled to be joined by North Carolina State defensive tackle Cory Durden. Cory, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
First question for you is how and when did you fall in love with football?
I fell in love with football when I was a little kid. I actually fell in love with football. I was 6 at the time, and my cousin had been playing for a year before me, and I was playing basketball at the time. Like, basketball was my sport. And I remember just going to watch him play and falling in love with it, just begging my mom, like, come on, Mom, you got to let me go out there. You got to let me go out there. And then from then on, it was a wrap. Like, I played my entire life after that.
Follow up to that, I guess, is who are some people who have helped you reach this point? Now, you're a graduate student. You played at Florida State. You're now playing at North Carolina State. Who are some people who have helped you get to this point? Is it a coach? Is it one of your parents? Who's helped you get here?
My mom is the only parent that was really involved in my life. You know, she was truly like my rock. She was a tremendous just foundation to have. And just having her be there and being able to support me through everything, it made things a lot easier. And I give a lot of credit to my coach at Florida State. He's like an older coach, and just the way that he coached, he broke everything down to a T. So I felt like he really helped me develop throughout college and get to where I am. And then I also like to credit my coach right now, who's a different style older coach at NC State, but like he approaches the game different from how I've been coached. So it's like just learning from different people, learning different styles of the game. It just helps you. It helped me become a better player, if that makes sense.
You had 4 years at Florida State. Why was North Carolina State the perfect place for you to pursue your graduate degree and keep playing football?
A lot played into it, to be honest. Just the guys that I didn't really know anybody. I was an in-conference rival, so just coming to a team, you don't really know anybody on the roster. It was nerve-wracking because I committed to NC State during the dead period, so I didn't even get to see campus or anything. I actually had a teammate who played me at Florida State who transferred. He was there at the time. I was just going off what he was saying, just telling me about NC State, and I listened to him, and I just took a chance, and it all worked out. It's been history ever since. And I fell in love with the city. Like, as soon as I came to Raleigh, I was actually staying in Jacksonville before I moved up here, and Raleigh reminded me so much of Jacksonville, and it's just like, because it's so spread out. You got to drive to go anywhere, and I don't know. I love just everything about Raleigh. Like, I've loved North Carolina.
Last season, you had the chance to return and play at Florida State for a game. I believe you grew up in Florida, so Jacksonville. So did you have friends and family that were at the game? Was it an emotional game for you? What was it like to go home, per se, and play at Florida State against some former teammates?
I'm from Newberry, but it was, I don't know, I don't know, my emotions were all over the place but at the end of the day, like, the goal was to win, obviously. So like, I was locked in with that, but it was hard going against my teammates at times because it was like, like, I'll make a play and just me being that, I'll get up and want to say something to him. But it's like, damn, like, this really my dog. Like, we really put blood, sweat, and tears in this for years together. Like, so it's like, I really can't even disrespect him in that aspect. So it was nerve-wracking, but just to get out there and be able to make plays for my team, like, I had a couple plays, big plays in the game. It felt good just going back there somewhere I used to call home, being able to make plays, because a lot of people, they feel sour about me now. So it's just like being able to make them mad in that aspect is always.
You had a great opportunity, I think, to declare for the NFL draft, but you've decided to return for a second year at North Carolina State. How tempting was the NFL draft, and what made you decide you wanted to come back for a second year at NC State?
Then the NFL draft, it was very tempting. Obviously, that's just as a football player, I feel like that's something that we chase our entire lives. Just, as a kid, you grow up watching the NFL. That's something that you tell yourself, like, oh, I want to do that. So it's like, but when like you're faced with the decision, like, to really do that, and it's not, like, the decision that you want to hear, like, oh, you might not go first round, but you're gonna get drafted. It makes you think about it, like, dang, could I be selling myself short? And then I took into account we won 10 games this year, and we lost 6 starters on defense, like 6 guys who really play, like, who really out there every snap. So it's like, just looking at all the guys that we caught coming back, like, I feel like we're gonna be a hell of a team next year. And I want to win the ACC. We were a play away from winning the ACC, in my opinion, when we lost to Wake Forest on the onside kick. So just fixing stuff like that, coming back, getting our whole team back healthy, I'm excited. Like, I feel like I just fell right into a puzzle. Like I was just a piece that fell into a puzzle where I fit perfect.
You've had a lot of experience playing in the ACC. In your opinion, what's the best part of ACC football?
The away games. The
Away
best part of
games?
ACC football is the away games because I feel like it's just that the different atmospheres. The atmospheres are so different. Because I mean, I don't know. It's just like in the SEC, I done played at Florida State. You know, we played Florida every season, so it was like I feel like Florida is like your typical SEC stadium, and it's just the vibes. You get a different vibe from, like, you might go to Louisville and get a totally different vibe from the vibe you're gonna get at Wake Forest, or the totally different vibe from the vibe you're gonna get at Clemson. Totally different vibe from, I'm sorry, somebody calling me. Totally different vibe from the vibe, you know, you might get at Miami, somewhere like that, Florida State. So it's just, I feel like that's the best thing about ACC football is just the teams that you got and just the atmospheres that come with it. Virginia Tech, teams like that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just amazing. I feel like ACC football is the best football in the country.
So, as a former teacher, I love it. You have your undergrad, you're going for your graduate degree. And congratulations, this past academic year, on being named to the 2021 All ACC Academic Football Team. Who instilled the value of education in you?
My mother.
Yeah.
My mother has her master's. So,
so you're trying to keep up with her now.
Yeah, my mom. Well, she has her PhD now. I'm tripping. She'll be mad because I cut her short. So my mom, I watched my mom from the age of second grade. So in second grade, what, you're like 6, 7. So from second grade all the way until 2 years ago, I watched my mom be in school, and just, you know, just watching her be up, like go to work all day, come home, still take care of me and my little sister. And then on top of that, sign in the class, be in class until like 9:30, 10:30 at night. It's just watching somebody do that. It just shows like how dedicated she was about school. And just like, so, you know, obviously just seeing her do that, it made me want to be better in school. But just having somebody like that, she's always on your back. So it's like, my mom's like a school head. Like, she loves school. So it's like, I don't know, she kind of instilled that into me. And it made me just want to change, because all academic ACC was something I never got in college. So it made me just want to change the way that I was operating, and that just made me want to change everything about myself. So that was just something that, you know, I set a goal for myself when I first got here. That was one of my main goals, was just to be all academic ACC into the fall and into the spring. So I got to get another step closer to my goal this semester. That's the goal.
I know you love football, but nobody gets to play football forever. Not even Tom Brady, it appears. So when you eventually hang up the cleats and you walk away from playing football, what are some of your goals? What are some of your dreams? What are some ambitions to use your undergraduate degree, to use your master's, or do you want to get into business? When football ends, what would you love to be doing?
My undergrad right now is in business. My major is in sociology, which sociology is a major that's a little all over the place, but my dream, it's not the most paying dream, but my dream is to be a college football or a high school football coach. I want to coach high school football. But that's something, obviously, that would be a hobby, something I do on the side. But I want to go into the business aspect of things. I want to, like, if God allows me to go to the NFL, I would start my own construction company. But if he didn't, I would find a way to use my degree to get into something like that, or something with, like, in the business aspect, so that I could work my way up, if that makes sense. Like, that's my goal, though. I want to do the business aspect of things, just find my way in that world and see where I fit in at.
Your football career is soaring right now. You get a bunch of buzz heading this season. You're one of the few veteran leaders on North Carolina State's D-line. When is the time that you've dealt with adversity, and how has that helped you grow on or off the football field?
I'm actually doing adversity now. I'm in a swing. I had surgery. I was first team All-American this year and was hurt the whole season. So it's just like, I'll use now as an example, just dealing with that success. And then as soon as the season over, just having to go through like just all these rocky mountains and stuff, like with surgery and just dealing with everything like that. I don't know, just the adversity can become overwhelming, because it's like, I got everybody in my ear telling me how good I am. Oh, you were first team All-American, this and that. And, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm in my own head telling myself, you know, like, I'm a D lineman. At the end of the day, I'm a big guy. So it's like, when you're hurt and you can't run, like, right now I'm 305. So it's like every day I wake up and tell myself, like, 305 is the goal weight, like I'm in the back of my head. So it's just like dealing with that kind of adversity. But one of the main things that I feel like shaped me into the person that I was just the stuff I dealt with at Florida State. I signed to Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher was my coach. So it was like, I signed to Jimbo Fisher when I got there. Essentially, he left. So it was like, I was just like stuck at a hard place. Like, what do I do? Like, I essentially signed my life over to this guy. Like, I had 40 offers coming out of high school. I signed to Florida State. This is my dream school. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love Florida State. I play at NC State right now, but I'm an alumni of Florida State. I always love Florida State. And that my degree will always be from Florida State. But it's just dealing with that adversity, going through all the coaching changes, and, just essentially having to fight for spots over and over again. Not because in football, I mean, obviously nothing's handed to you, but when you establish yourself in a position that is yours, and you constantly just have a new leader come in and you have to prove yourself over and over again in the football world, it becomes annoying, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, college is already hard. And when you're a senior who's played a bunch of football games, but you got somebody who's running you into the ground in practice so you can prove yourself to them, I mean, it's just like it becomes hard. Like you become beat up, just all kinds of stuff in that aspect. So it was just bouncing back from that. I don't know, it all worked out in my favor. I feel like I found the right spot for me, and it worked out. I truly can say that.
Now, next week, I think it's March 2nd is when spring camp opens.
Yes.
How active can you be with coming back from your injury? Are you just there physically, like supporting the young guys, running through some plays? What's your impact going to be at spring camp?
On spring camp, I'm gonna be out there. I ain't gonna be in like no pads and nothing, but I'm gonna be out there working out. They ain't gonna be holding me back. So I'm excited about that.
For someone who's never gone through a spring camp, what's the toughest part generally about spring camp?
I feel like the toughest part about spring camp in college is keeping your mentality there that you want to get better. Because ultimately you're practicing to play your teammates who you go against every single day in practice. So just being able to keep that mentality like, oh, I need to be out here to get better every single day and not thinking, oh, this is a drag. Like we're practicing for nothing, a game that's not real. I feel like that's the biggest thing. That's the hardest thing about spring but once you get over that hump and you become like a mature player, spring becomes like one of the most vital things in college. Cause I mean, that's where you're getting your body right after the season. That's where you're retoning your body before you go into summer for that final stretch. So it's just, that's the biggest thing, in my opinion. I mean, it might be different for everybody else, but in my opinion, it's just getting over that hump where you're telling yourself, like, this isn't a drag. Like, I really need this. Like, this time is vital. Like, I really need this in my development.
You mentioned earlier that your team lost 6 D linemen after last season. I think
no, 6. We lost 6 starters overall, like linebackers, D linemen. We lost a DB.
That's a lot.
2 of our starting linebackers.
And from what I was looking at from my research, I believe you're one of 9 returners to the D line and one of 2 graduates on the D line. Maybe even tie this into spring camp where you're not in path, but you're on the field. What does your role look like as a veteran, either in spring camp or moving into the season? How can you be a vocal leader for these young guys? And how can you just be that savvy veteran for the defense?
I was just trying to be the best teammate that I could be. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Before you can try to be a big leader, you just got to make sure that you're being a good teammate. And so I feel like, if my teammates look at me and they know that I'm a good teammate, I feel like that'll make things easier as far as me being a leader in the spring. So right now, like, I'm just trying to show them, like, yeah, I'm hurt. Like, I'm not even hurt. I'm coming off of surgery, but I'm out here with y'all. Like, I'm grinding. Y'all see I'm grinding every day, like, it's still the same me. So that's my biggest thing, is just showing them, like, that I could be that same great teammate regardless of whether I had surgery or not. And then after that, like, just being, obviously everybody knows, like, I'm a vocal leader. I'm a very vocal person. And so it's just, that's my biggest thing right now, is just trying to be the best teammate I could be and not get caught in the injury stuff.
What are some of your personal or team goals for this upcoming season?
My personal goals, well, I'm going to start with my team goals because that's the most important thing to me right now, personally. My first team goal is to win the ACC. I feel like, saying that win the ACC, sometimes it could be a long shot. Teams say that and it could be a long shot. But for us, like, is right there. Like, so that's our first goal is to win the ACC. My second goal for my defense, I want us to be the best defense in the country. I think we was like top 5, top 10 last year. I want to be the best defense in the country in every stat, turnovers, yards, and every stat. I want to have the best offense in the country, which I think our offense was up there. And then ultimately, I just want to have fun. I feel like every game we played in last year was sold out. We sold out Carter Finley every week that we was home. So, just have fun as a team. And then personal goals, I want to win the I think it's the Grakowski Award. I can't even remember. I always pronounce his name wrong. But the Grakowski or whatever, it's for the best D lineman in the country. So I want to win that one. I want to be a first team All-American. I want to be a unanimous All-American. I want to be a first team AP All-American for every team that could put me as an All-American. And like I said, I just want to be the best teammate I could be. That's my thing.
Final question for you, Cory. Football is obviously a passion for you, but when you're not playing football, what's something that you're passionate about away from the football field?
I'm a dad. I got a 2-year-old son, and my daughter, she's 2 months old. So,
wow,
that's the thing. That's something that I'm passionate about, just because my father wasn't in my life. So, just trying to step up and be that for them is something that I take to heart every single day, and it's something that I try to live by.
Thank you for your time today. Best of luck this upcoming season. I hope your final year of college football, you crush all those goals, especially that team goal of having a top defense in college football.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.